Do you like card games? There are many card games out in this round blue world we live in, from fun physical card games to bad virtual card games. And today I'm gonna touch on a forgotten game that I would qualify as the latter, and delve into my experience with it. Shin Megami Tensei Trading Card Card Summoner is a Game Boy Color game based on Shin Megami Tensei Digital Level Story card game, released in 2001 and developed by Enterbrain, a publishing company that is better known for publishing RPG Maker and T-Ring Saga. The mechanics were vastly simplified for the video game, but the core mechanics were still kept. This game has only been speedrun once, and there's a good reason for it. The game is painfully slow. And, as with most CCG games, there aren't any major glitches or exploits that we can do to skip through the game and finish it any faster. So my speedrun of the game can be seen as more of a relatively fast playthrough. And what even led me to try to speedrun this game? Well, it all started in 2022 when me and fellow bad idea haver Asapaska thought it'd be funny to route and speedrun Card Summoner since nobody seemed to care about it. The only thing resembling the speedrun line of it was a playthrough that didn't even finish the game. So we got to playing and decided to race it on August 15th, 2022. I got through the first half of the game but didn't complete it before the deadline. So with some half-learned strategies in mind and a heart full of commitment to finishing the game, so began my Shin Megami Tensei TCG Card Summoner experience. Let me walk you through the 9 hours that followed. Act 1. Learning the ropes. The scenario is simple. You are this guy, the protagonist, which you can name whatever you want. Let's name him Sion. Sion has just gotten the grand opportunity to become a student of Card Academy, the most prestigious institution that will train you in becoming the best player of the booming card game that is taking over Japan, the Shin Megami Tensei trading card game. Attending there is your friend Midori, who will teach you about card battles. In the classroom, we are given a lengthy explanation of the basic mechanics of the game. Every summoner, that is, what the players of Card Summoners are called, each have a deck of 40 cards with a hand of up to 7 cards. These cards can be demon cards or item cards. To summon a demon card, you require Magnetite, which you can earn at the end of each turn, and with these demons you can attack the opponent. Once they reach 0 HP, you win. This tutorial section is painfully long, so I'll summarize these tutorial battles as quickly as I can. At the beginning of every battle, the first player is chosen randomly, and 7 cards are drawn. The player has a choice to redraw the hand, but only once. Then the battle begins. Each turn has 5 phases. The prepare phase, where you get a default of at least 4 Magnetite, the draw phase, where you draw 1 card, the main phase, where you summon demons, use any other skill cards and set any demons to attack the enemy, the block phase, where you set any of your demons to defend you in case the opponent decides to attack you, and the add phase, where your mag goes back to 0 and any summoned demons go from being a card to an actual demon on the field. Each demon has a summoning cost of a certain amount of mag, but once they're summoned they also add a corresponding amount of mag that you get in the beginning of your turn, so summoning many demons early is essential. The demon also has an HP number and an AP number. AP stands for attack points, and it means exactly what you think it does. It means the amount of damage that a demon can deal. The point of the battle is to attack your opponent with your summoned demons, so if you attack and the enemy has no demons to block with, or decides not to, they take the damage directly. But they have the options to block as well. If you decide that a demon will block, then that is the only action they can take that turn, which means you can't block with a tapped demon, that is a demon you've previously attacked with, and they will block a specific demon of the opponent if they decide to attack. Then the demons face each other. They attack each other at the same time, so the one who can withstand the attack wins, or they simply tie. If they both survive, they recover HP by the beginning of the next turn, so the only way to get rid of a demon is to one-shot them. Some demons also have skills, which cost Magnetite to use. These skills can recover HP, let you draw new cards, or let you attack a specific demon, or even the opponent himself. Last but not least, there are certain demons that can only be summoned as a fusion. These fusions are done mid-battle, and they can be done by choosing the required number of demon cards as fusion material and paying the required Magnetite. Any demon, be it tapped, untapped, or even card state, can be used as fusion material. These demons are generally much stronger and tankier and a requirement to beat the game. We learned the rules through very lengthy fixed battles against our cruelest friend Taizo and our newfound rival Tsutomu, and then take a small break to go to the bathroom, where we find Hanako, the mythical spirit that can be summoned from the toilet according to a Japanese urban legend. Hanako is committed to putting us through a quiz in exchange for some new cards, but it's worth it, as this is how we're introduced to flying demons. We go back to Midori and get another tutorial. You see, these demons have a particular advantage to them. Only flying demons can block attacks from other flying demons, so summoning or fusing a flying demon early is the fastest way to chip away the opponent's health, as they have no way to block your attack. After another battle with Tsutomu, we are introduced to the last mechanic, the alignment. Each demon has a typical alignment of light, dark, neutral, and law, chaos, or neutral. And the interesting thing here is that your deck also has an alignment. And if your demon's alignment doesn't match your deck's alignment, you won't get any extra magnetite from them. So it's generally recommended to keep a deck that matches your demon's alignment. After a short quiz, we finally finished the bombardment of tutorials and can finally control our character and edit our decks. Every fight from here onwards is done with our own deck, so we'll receive some new cards and some money, and go open some booster packs. The strategy from here on out is simple. Add as many easily summonable, that is low magnetite demons as possible to the deck. Remove most item cards except a few such as PC, a card that you can discard to draw a new one, or Gun, an item card that lets you attack an opponent directly for some magnetite. Then add some good fusion cards, preferably flying ones. The speedrun relied mainly on Futsunushi and Eurolanger. You're gonna hear a lot of these demons, who are both relatively easy to summon at 5 mag, so they become effective damage dealers very quickly. But of course, these are demons that you need to purchase or obtain from a random draw. And that's when another feature of this game comes in. Card Summoner saves automatically, everywhere, all the time. So after every action, your actions are saved, making it impossible to save scum for a good deck or even attempt to manipulate it unless it's done from the beginning of the game. So the speedrun is complete improvisation from knowing the game mechanics, risky gameplay, and as usual, luck. After editing your deck, we continue to the second part of Act 1, which is a tournament arc. That is the tournament being held at the school, 30 card decks, 10 HP, best of 3. At the end of each fight we earn 200 Maka and are given the option to go buy new cards to edit our deck, which we do to achieve the fated Futsunushi Eurolanger deck. And so we begin the tournament. We have to face 3 opponents in order to proceed to the semifinals, and our first opponent is Takeshi. These fights are best of 3 and take forever, so I'll only be describing some rounds as most characters right now are running similar decks. Takeshi's biggest danger is his flying demons. If we let him summon a lot of flying demons and use Catapult, an item card that for a turn makes one of your demons a flying demon, we could easily get wiped in one turn. The second fight is our rival, Tsutomu. We get an incredible first hand and manage to fuse 2 rooks on the first turn, so we attack him for 8 HP and he doesn't even defend with his flying demons. Then we also draw Achiri, so we end him with Agi on our next attacking turn. On the second fight, things start looking a bit more dangerous when he summons a lot of demons and we're forced to tank some hits to set up, but it all plays out as we use Achiri's Agi to kill his only flying demon and attack with both of our rooks to win the match. We go back to buy another pack, which unfortunately is pretty useless, and return to fight the last opponent of the preliminaries, Dorao. Dorao has some pretty strong cards. We start with a handful of fusion material, so we focus on wearing down his HP carefully with Legion, but we don't get many fusion cards for a while, so things start getting dicey. We both end up with a ton of demons out, and eventually we get a fusion, and thankfully he can't fuse anything before we crush him. And for the preliminaries, we're told by Midori to go chill on Taizo, who's fighting someone who looks straight out of Yu-Gi-Oh! This is Takuya, and he's the typical obnoxious, arrogant brat who thinks he can never be defeated. Taizo loses because he doesn't know how to deal with Takuya's F-Break. But what is F-Break, you're probably wondering? That's right, there's still one more tutorial left. We are given Surprise A, a card that gives F-Break to a demon, and Yatsusa, a demon that has F-Break, and told to fight Taizo. So F-Break is simple. It's an active ability that makes a demon attack first. So when your demon's attack is blocked by the opponent's demon, your demon with F-Break goes first. This might sound trivial, but it can be game changing when you're blocked by a demon whose attack points are the same as your HP. If you go first and take them out, you won't get wiped in the process, as you would in a normal battle. In the semi-finals we face Aki, who expects us to be familiar with F-Break, as mastering it is essential to winning these fights now. And after clutching a win, we finally head to the finals and face Takuya. Takuya is quite tough. He has Virtue, a flying 4 HP, 4 attack demon with a passive ability that doesn't let it get tapped after taking an action, a quite overpowered skill that can derail your fight very quickly. We sacrifice our Rook to kill it and get rid of that threat, but that leaves us without any damage dealers. At turn 21, we finally fuse a Rook, which gives us some hope to win the battle and keep healing with Pixie's Dia. Dia consumes MP, but since I don't have any room to summon anything else, you might as well use Dia. Then Takuya fuses Futsunushi and things get scary. I finally fuse a Ilyanka, which is a powerful 6 HP 5 attack demon, but Takuya has 2 Futsunushis and 2 other flying demons, and my chances are looking slim. I Agi with Kokuricho to take out one of the flying demons and attack with Ilyanka in hopes to be able to block the Futsunushi and win. And then the weirdest thing happens, Takuya doesn't attack. Sometimes in this game the AI of the opponent gets confused and just doesn't take any action. So I Agi Takuya and win the tournament. We get much luckier in the second round, fusing a rook in Ilulyanka very soon. He brings out Virtue, which we defeat by sacrificing a rook, and then we just start pounding him with Ilulyanka and he loses. Once you win the finals, you get an HP upgrade and you can finally roam around for a bit. Act 2. Electrical Girls. At this point in the game, the world opens up a bit more. There's some optional battles around, but their only purpose is to grind money, so we don't really do them in the speedrun since we try to stick to one deck. Though we do stop by the shop and finally purchase our first Futsunushi. Futsunushi is not only powerful at 5 HP and 5 attack, but it also has an ability that gives anyone F-break, which can be critical in some fights. As we try to head to the second floor, Storm stops us and forces us into another battle. He's still running a similar deck, though he certainly has stronger fusions now, but we get through him very quickly. He runs off afterwards crying because he keeps losing and is approached by this man called Kurosawa, who says he's a coach at the academy and says he'll help him get stronger. Nothing suspicious about that. We continue back to the second floor and enter the computer room to continue the story. As we entered, we're surrounded by the girls who call themselves holograms, and they force us into a battle. The first one is ZAE. First turn we fuse Rangda, a triple fusion with F-break and one of our newer cards. Soon after we fuse Ruck, and with a Legion on the side chipping away at her health, we defeat Z80 quickly. Next up is MSX. We luckily fuse Rangda first turn right away and half her health right away. In a lucky draw right after, we fuse Ilulyanka and MSX falls before she even has an opportunity to show off her fusions. A win for PC fans. Finally, we fight X68. X68 does not hold back and fuses Valkyrie right away, a powerful ground demon with 6 HP and 6 attack. Unfortunately for her, we fuse Rook, and she does not have any flying demons to block with. We sacrifice our base demons to block Valkyrie and attack with Rook, and X68 doesn't stand a chance. Afterwards, you get the option to get back here and do an endless streak of battles for rewards. But in our adventure, we continue onwards as Dorao decides to organize another tournament. Before that, we can now buy fusion packs, so we buy some of those in hopes of getting some more Futsunushi or Eurohunger cards. And so begins the tournament. This tournament is pretty quick because we can actually lose every fight, except for the last one. Our first battle is in Duel Room, where we fight our friend Midori, then Michael, then we fight Taizo, who seems to not improve regardless of how many times we fight him. We also finally open a pack where we get a Yearlonger. Finally we fight Stomu. Unfortunately for him, he meets the wrath of 2 Rucks and loses quickly. And so ends the Dorao tournament. Act 3. The Mitama Hunt before they were made into DLC. We can now enter the battle arena on the second floor, and so we head there to progress the story. Once we get there, we're told we need the approval from 4 coaches in order to enter further, so we have to go and fight them and collect each of their Mitama cards as proof. And so we do. On the 3rd floor, we visit Coach Kurosawa's room, who recommends we fight one of his trainees, Yukihiko. This dude gets an insane hand of fusions and completely crushes us, so we have to try again. On the 2nd try, we make more progress with Futsunushi, but he brings out Yearlonger and we can't stand up to the might of the flying snake. On our 3rd attempt, we manage to fuse Rook, Futsunushi and Virtue early and make some progress, but Yukihiko keeps fighting back. He has many flying demons and an annoying barrel that has a skill that discards 3 of the cards in your hand, which really stalls any progress. But not long after, we break through his walls of blocking demons and use Atri's Agi to defeat him. We talk to Coach Kurosawa after and we get our first Mitama card, Ara Mitama. Mitama cards are extremely useful as they're neutral aligned and cost 0 MP to summon, so they're the perfect fusion material. They also usually have pretty good skills. We head to the battle room on the 2nd floor and talk to Coach Reika to unlock the fight with Shizuka. We start our hand with Yearlonger, which we fuse, and a Mitama, so things are looking good. But in Act 3 is where we start to see a certain type of skills being used, a type of skill that will bring us a lot of pain and despair. Instant kill spells. They come in the form of abilities that certain demons have, or of item cards. You get a random roll, and if you're lucky, you can instantly kill a demon. The odds are not clear to the player, but they sure feel high, because the amount of times they kill my Yearlongers in Futsunushi is not funny. So Shizuka uses the feared item Iten no Ken, and our Yearlonger is sent to the farm upstate. We use Aramitama's self-destruct ability that does 2 HP to a chosen enemy to get rid of Wabami, who with its 1 HP and 5 attack is a threat, but easily dealt with. But we're just as powerless as Shizuka is right now. Our only hope is Virtue. We lose 4 attack in the next turn, but Shizuka cruelly uses Gun 4, an item card that deals 4 HP, to mercilessly kill it. Then we get hit by Bufala and tragically lose. There is the risk of running a speedrun deck. Our deck is extremely risky, relying mostly on demons with F-break and flying demons showing up early to deal as much damage as possible before the demon even has a chance to block or counterattack it. But this is still a card game, and we have a 40 card deck, so some luck is required. And we'll see the limits of this luck much more later on. Second attempt at Shizuka, we almost meet the same fate as Shizuka tries to Hama or Yarlanger, but this time the item thankfully fails. We fuse Virtue and attack with Yarlanger and Virtue, and Shizuka has no way of blocking Flying Demon, so she falls right away. How different the battle can turn out just by the result of Hama. Makes you wonder how different your life could be if you'd chosen differently in the past. But I digress. We talk to Coach Reika and get Saki Mitama. We head back downstairs to the southern battle room to battle Satoshi. We get a hand packed full of demons and fuse Yurlanger early and luckily dodge the Hama sword item. Then we fuse Futsunushi and after a few hits, Satoshi falls. On the way out we talk to Coach Sakamoto to get Nigi Mitama, and so we only have one more Mitama card left, and who else could have it but Coach Oda. We get lucky and pull 2 Virtue cards in our hand quickly, and paired with Atsuri's Agi, Oda loses. And so we obtain the last Mitama card, Nigi Mitama. Suddenly Coach Kurosawa bursts in and asks Coach Oda to use the room, so we leave and finally head back to the battle arena. Oda goes away muttering something about how the real fight will begin soon, but we don't have time to worry about that, because Takuya wants revenge from his loss in the tournament, and challenges us to a battle. The battle begins, but right after Coach Reika interrupts it, and tells us that it's no time to be battling right now. We go up to the roof, and see that the sky has turned an eerie purple. Something is going on. Act 4. Is that Check Frost? It seems like the school has been dragged into an alternate space by demons that were attracted by the magnetites in the arm comps. But just as it attracted them here, we can send the demons away through the power of card battles. We get another health upgrade, reaching 14 HP now, and take the elevator downstairs. In the card shop, there's a demon called Spectre who gives us some advice about fighting this demon called Juggler. And as we enter Coach Sakamoto's room, we find a demon called Johania who approaches us. He says we're never going to see the school students again and that our best chance of survival is a card fight. First we fight his buddy, the Juggler. We summon Legion early and start chipping away at his health. He tries to attack with his own flying demon, we get Atsuri and take them out with Agi. Soon after a powerful blow with catapulted Futsunushi and Legion, we finish him off quickly. Then Johania summons a doppelganger that looks just like us. Thankfully he doesn't have our deck, otherwise we'd be in trouble. Lucky for us we get a double Virtue field and it's no time before we win. Finally we fight Johania. We start off using Yurlanger, which is great, but he summons an entire field worth of demons. Things aren't looking great as he keeps taking out our demon, but Yurlanger still sneaks in some hits and we get him down to 2 HP. Then we finish him off with our item card Gun 2 and win. Coach Sakamoto reappears and says he'd been manipulated by Johania. We then learn from Coach Reika that 5 barriers have been raised all around the academy and each is protected by a demon, and we must take down all 5 barriers in order to go back to our own world. We can finally leave the duel room and stop by Coach Oda's room, where Yatagarasu forces us into another battle. We start off using Futsunushi and manage to hit him once before he hits us with a Seiko no Ken, the Mudo item card. Things don't get any better when we fuse Ruck and he sacrifices one of his demons to put it back in our hand. We can't block his attacks and lose, but we try again with a better hand this time. All we need is some luck against those item cards. This time we can fuse Yurlanger, but he triple fuses Amaterasu as well. Thankfully we managed to fuse Futsunushi right after, and using his F-break ability on Yurlanger we can take out his Amaterasu and his Sarasvati at the same time. Yatagarasu can recover after that and we take him down easily. Yatagarasu can't believe he's been defeated by a human and in frustration summons our next opponent, Pallas Athena. Pallas Athena has a lot of dangerous item cards, so it's best we finish this as quickly as possible. We get the first turn and finish it with a field full of demons. We draw a gun card on the following turn, so we use Saki Mitama's ability that sacrifices Saki Mitama in order to draw 2 cards, and luckily we draw a Virtue. Unfortunately Athena freezes Gabriel, which isn't strong enough to kill our Virtue, but strong enough to not get killed by it, putting us in an annoying situation. We need to draw another fusion card, fast. She fuses Satan Tyson, which is a dangerous flying demon. He has Zanma as an ability, which can deal 3 HP. So in an unusual move we take him out with 2 gun cards. Then we just start attacking, might as well start chipping away at her health. 2 turns later we finally summon Futsunushi and now we can start really attacking. She tries to hold us back with some weak demons, but after we fuse Yurlanger it's over before we know it. One more barrier down. We walk into the tournament room, and it looks like Takuya is struggling in the fight against the Jack Frost. Sandman decides he wants to take us on, so we're dragged into one more battle. We get lucky with the fusion cards and fuse Virtue and Ruck early on, and Sandman is defeated. But Pyrojack, or Jay Lantern as they call him, wants to fight us too and follows right up. Pyrojack tries to use our strats against us and Agi's or Atsuri, but we use the power of freedom and gun down his Pyrojack card and fuse Yearvanger. Things are looking good, and then he uses Gump. Gump is an item card that makes you discard 5 cards and uses it twice, making it look a fourth of our deck. We are still in a good position, but things can get dangerous very quickly depending on which cards we lost. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't have any counters for Yearvanger, so with 2 more turns he falls. Right after we're done, we learn that Takuya won his fight as well. Pyrojack and Jack Frost are fighting over who's worse at card battles, but run away when they see Takuya approaching, ready to finish the job. We take the elevator to the rooftop and Coach Reika gives us another health upgrade to 16 HP. And we can finally take the stairs to the 3rd floor again. We follow Takuya, and he says he's worried about the people on the 2nd floor, and wants to go inspect it, and leaves the 3rd floor to us. So we give him a push to get through the barrier, and walk away towards Coach Kurosawa's room, where we find Pyrojack and Jack Frost conspiring in the corner. They say this time it won't be them fighting us, it'll be Nekomata. You might have noticed by now that our strategy at this point is always the same. We need to fuse Yearvanger or Futsunushi to win, and it all falls on how quickly we draw them. At this point, we aren't buying any more cards, so there are no more major changes to the strategy, and there are a lot of fights in Act 4. So for the remaining fights, I'll summarize the ones that aren't particularly eventful. Nekomata, Yearvanger. Then the Jack Bros get annoyed and summon Cerberus to fight for them. Cerberus, Yearvanger. Coach Reika and Midori barge in just as the Jack Bros run away. Then Midori tells us that the others are stuck on the 2nd floor and we have to go help them. As we head to the terrace, Heka challenges us to a fight in exchange for freeing Taizo and Tsutomu. Yearvanger, or she was about to, before she used an item card that completely wiped the entire field of every demon that I had painstakingly fused. Thankfully she was down to 2 HP and right after I drew a gun card, so I just shot her. GG's. Hecate is impressed by her skills, and asks Sandman to fight us again, but he's learned his lesson, so instead Hecate summons Satan Tyson instead. Yearvanger on the 2nd attempt. We rescue Taizo and Tsutomu, who is still reluctant to admit we're strong, and now we can finally walk into Coach Oda's room. We find out there's a fake Midori going around and learn that it was actually Amut disguised. Yearvanger. After Amut is defeated, Pazuzu shows up saying he can't stand to watch Amut be defeated and becomes our next opponent. Yearvanger. Taizo comes to us and says we've eliminated all the demons, but the sky is still dark, so something is still wrong. We head to the battle arena, the final destination that we haven't visited, and awaiting us is Coach Kurosawa, who thanks us for our hard work in cleaning up the demons. We enter the battle arena to see Takuya fighting Yukihiko, and upon talking to them, we realize they're all acting a little weird, as if they can't see that there's still something off about the school. Could they be hypnotized? We talk to this man called Hikuzo, who seems to know what's going on, and he gives us a key to the back of the battle arena, and gives us our final comp upgrade to 20 HP. We walk into the secret back room and discover that Coach Kurosawa was King Frost all along, and he's responsible for the demon invasion of the school. He notices we saw his true form, and decides he's had enough of us and it's time for us to battle. This is a final gauntlet. All the other academy students except for Taizo and Takuya in the battle arena turn out to be demons, and we are dragged into the arena. First, we have to face his underlings, Yukihiko, who is actually Jack Frost, and Pyrojack. Now these fights are tough. Jack Frost and Pyrojack have strong decks with strong item cards, and we have to feed them back to back without getting healed in between. We'll need some luck to win. We add an extra healing card to the deck and get ready for Jack Frost. Jack Frost took a few attempts to get through. In summary, he does not hold back on using Hama items on infusions. Moreover, he summons Aerophant, which seems like a pretty harmless flying demon, but it has an ability that can raise its HP up to 9 HP, making it the perfect shield against flying demons. After he summoned the second Aerophant, there was no way to win the fight. Second attempt, yeah. On the third attempt, I slightly edit my deck to have more demon cards and remove some of the potions cards that were there for safety. And then, on the fourth attempt, I add Sraosha to the deck, which is a bit of an expensive card to fuse, but it's a flying F-break demon, so it's quite powerful. Finally, we get a better round and manage to fuse Sraosha, Yearvanger, and Futsunushi without losing any demons to Hama, or him bringing out a wall of Aerophants, and we win. But it's not over yet, because there's the other Devil Buster Bro waiting for us, and if we lose against Pyrojack, we have to redo both fights. We fuse Yearlonger early, but Powerjack doesn't hold back and uses Gump on your hand. We sacrifice Mitama for 2 more cards and manage to fuse Futsunushi soon after. Thankfully, Powerjack doesn't manage to fuse any threatening cards and we push through. Finally, the last boss fight is near. King Frost says he'll avenge Jack Frost and Powerjack and challenges us to a card battle, best of 3. Here we go. We add 1 potion back to the deck and begin. The first turn is ours. No fusions in the hand, but at least we have a big variety of base demons and a program item card. We use program and draw Mitama, and then lay down our Mitama, 2 pixies, arrows, Kamiotoko, and Katakirawa. King Frost counters with a Russian Roulette, an item card that randomly exercises a demon in our field, hitting our Mitama. Then he summons 2 slimes and a legion. Second turn we draw Mokoi, no fusions yet. We use our gun card on his legion to remove the threat of flying demons, but we don't have a lot of power on our side for now. Another turn and we draw another base demon, not much we can do. Then King Frost does the worst possible move. He uses machine gun, wiping our entire field of demons. After that, there is no recovery. He takes us out in no time. 1 loss, 0 victories. The second round begins. We get a better round, but King Frost has the first turn this time and summons a legion and a Strigoi. We summon Nigimitama, use our program to draw and summon an Armitama, a Zoma, Mokoi, and fuse Yearlonger. He guns down our Armitama, but we gun down his legion. We summon Koropokur and set our Yearlonger to attack. Next turn he sets down an Aerophant, we summon Apis and still manage to stick in the hit with Yearlonger. Apis has Fukuin, the same ability that some of the Mitamas do, that lets us sacrifice it for 2 cards, and we do. No fusions. Or Koropokur dies in a confrontation with Strigoi. Another turn and still no fusions. We summon a Katakirawa, and he dies against the remaining Strigoi. Seems like we're both waiting for fusion cards, and whoever gets them first will have a huge advantage. Finally, we draw Futsunushi. Right after we draw and fuse Rook, and attack with both Yearlonger and Futsunushi, Yearlonger gets blocked by Aerophant, but Futsunushi deals 5 damage. Then the following turn we attack for our fusions and we take down King Frost. 1 loss, 1 victory. Next one is decisive. We have the first turn. Our starting hand has 2 Futsunushi cards, so there's hope. We summon Mokoi and Ba and fuse Futsunushi. Then we summon Kushimitama. King Frost summons a Drill Hanya. Next turn we draw a Pixie, so we summon that Pixie and Ba to fuse our second Futsunushi. Our summoned Futsunushi deals the first attack, 5 HP. Unfortunately, next turn King Frost summons Aerophant, but it's okay, we got this. We draw and summon Armitama and set both our Futsunushis to attack. King Frost tanks a hit, having 5 HP left. He guns down our Armitama but doesn't summon further. We draw and summon Sakamitama and set both our Futsunushi to attack. King Frost in desperation blocks with Aerophant and Drill Hanya, surviving another turn. We're almost there. We draw a Pixie and then use Sakamitama's Fukuin to sacrifice it for 2 cards, Arrows and Yearlonger. Victory is nigh. We summon Arrows and Pixie and fuse them into Yearlonger. As expected, both our Futsunushi attack and get tanked by Aerophant and Ubarion. We attack with Yearlonger and our Futsunushis and deal the final blow. We win! King Frost is defeated. King Frost and the bros try to gang up around us, but Spectre shows up, the demon in the shop that helped us early. He said he took down the final barrier around the school, and when King Frost starts putting up a fight, Palsafina and Cerberus show up to threaten him into a fight if he doesn't cooperate. Finally, King Frost disappears, and the threat is finally over. Coach Reika praises our devil summoning skills, and we join our friends Midori, Taizo, and Takuya, and leave. And that was Shin Megami Tensei TCG Card Summoner. Overall, if you're a fan of card games, you might find this game a bit lackluster, and there is no excuse for the sheer amount of tutorials that they throw at you. But of all the quote-unquote bad Megaten games that I've played, this might be on the higher end for me, and that is not just a 9 hours of brainwashing talking. The gameplay is surprisingly addictive, and even though I know it's never gonna happen, I'd love to see a sequel to this game someday. Whether this game is good or not is not for me to decide, but the memories I have of playing it will stick with me forever. It has one of the worst sprite arts I've ever seen though, look at them. So that was my adventure with TCG Card Summoner. I hope you guys give this game a try. I'm working on a few long projects for the channel, so if you like this video, follow to see what's coming. In the meantime, take care and I'll see you next time.